Ever since Cyberpunk 2077 launched, we've been glued to our TV screens as we try to roam around Night City, trying to find all of its secrets. Sure, the game is a bit of a mess right now, but the story and side missions are really some of the best we've ever played. However, we did notice that there are some key features missing from the game that were promised or heavily teased in the game's marketing. Most of the cut content is too large to ignore and would have resulted in a far better game. So today, we're taking a look at 8 insane things that were cut from Cyberpunk 2077. Before we get into it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh, and hit that notification button. If you don't, you'll be haunted by the T-poses during your entire playthrough. Corrupt cops. So one of the biggest issues plaguing Cyberpunk right now is the non-existent cop AI. The cops are absolutely brainless, but also somehow have the ability to magically spawn right behind you. Shoot a bullet in the desert or at the top of a rooftop and cops will literally spawn right behind you. If you try to run away, the cops will stop chasing you. It's kind of a mess. Well, our first feature that was cut from Cyberpunk is the ability to bribe corrupt cops. That's right, in a 2019 interview, a CD Projekt Red dev revealed that we could pay off dirty cops so we could get away scot-free with our crimes. However, the ability to bribe cops just isn't there. In fact, if you even try to talk to a cop, they'll just shoot you. It really would have been cool to pay off cops because it would have made you think twice about committing crimes. If you thought the corrupt cop feature was cool, wait till you see what was cut from the NPCs. NPCs react. Okay, so in that same interview, where the dev talked about how cops would be corrupt, NPCs were also touched upon. The dev stated that civilians in the game would have robust artificial intelligence and would actually react to the violence you commit on the streets of Night City. Of course, that isn't the case, as NPCs in the game are largely lifeless and don't really do anything other than scream for help. But there's the kicker. The dev said that certain NPCs would come and stop you if you were being reckless. Kinda like a Night City version of a citizen's arrest. In fact, the dev even said that the citizens would be powerful. Of course, in the game, that's nowhere to be found, as the citizens of Night City are pretty much brain dead. I mean, even if you hit them, they don't retaliate or run away, they just kinda stand there in disbelief, occasionally yelling into the void. Our next piece of content involves how the story of the game would have been told. Third-person cutscenes. CD Projekt Red officially debuted gameplay for Cyberpunk at E3 2018, blowing fans and journalists away with a 48-minute demo. We're going to come back to this demo a lot because it's oozing with things that are missing from the final game. To be fair, the demo had a disclaimer saying that it does not represent the final look of the game, and boy was it right. In the demo, we saw that there would be a third-person cutscene that showed off your V in all its glory. However, in 2019, CD Projekt Red scrapped the third-person cutscenes in favor of a full-on first-person experience to make the game more immersive. It is disappointing that we didn't get the third-person cutscenes, considering we barely get to see what our V looks like apart from a few moments in the game. Like, what's the point of spending an hour customizing V if we barely get to see them? Speaking of the 2018 E3 demo, let's visit the opening moments of it. Backstory. While Cyberpunk 2077 does have a pretty robust creation system, the 2018 demo teased something far more complex and more in line with RPGs. Wait, speaking of changes, did you see how the Twitter bio for the game changed from a role-playing game to action-adventure? Kinda whack, huh? Anyway, the demo showed off the opportunity to create a backstory for V, with 3 distinctive choices to shape your character, which in turn had 3 different options. These choices were personal, like who your childhood hero was, or why did you want to go to Night City. And from what it looks like, you could have also chosen V's education history, and if they had any prior convictions. In the final game, the option to create an intricate backstory was changed in favor of 3 hardened life paths: Street Kid, Nomad, and Corpo. While these life paths are a great substitute, we can't help but think how much more personal RV would have been if the original backstory mechanic was in place. But now, let's switch over to some cut customization. Vehicle customization. You'd think an open-world sandbox like Cyberpunk 2077 would have at least some customization when it comes to vehicles, but sadly, it doesn't. For all that was said about how detailed the vehicles would be, it's a shame you can't customize your rides. In a 2019 interview, another CD Projekt Red dev revealed that there would be some customization option for cars, and that the team would be looking into making motorcycles customizable as well. They didn't go into any explicit details regarding what customization would look like, but we can imagine it was as simple as changing the color of your car's features, or modding the engine. A year later, another dev stated that cars wouldn't be customizable, with the feature being cut. Sure, the cars in Night City look and sound awesome, but it would have been even better to add your own flair to some of the vehicles. I mean, it's a game all about customizing and enhancing your body. Why shouldn't that ethos be reflected in the cars you drive? Just as vehicles were changed, so was a different method of transversal. Wall running. So here we have another feature that was teased in a 2018 E3 demo, but didn't make it into the final cut of the game. Originally, you could use mantis blades to run on walls. You could also perch up on walls, which allowed you to take down enemies, kind of like Batman in the Arkham series. In 2020, a dev revealed that wall running had been cut due to design reasons, which is a pretty vague statement. Now, mantis blades are still in the game and are very cool, so we're not missing this feature too much. And to be honest, it's hard to imagine using it in most missions, so yeah, maybe getting rid of the wall running wasn't that bad of an idea. Acid rain. Now we're talking about Night City's weather and how it was changed in the final game. In an interview from 2019, a dev revealed that the game would have acid rain. Thanks to the amount of pollution Night City has, when acid rain would drop, citizens would scurry away to indoor locations to protect themselves. In the final game, acid rain just doesn't seem to be there, and when it does rain, NPCs just carry on about their day outside, not necessarily heading to buildings for shelter. Sure, you may not think a cut in the weather system was a big deal, but our next change is one that drastically changes how you view the story. Before we move on to the final thing that was cut from Cyberpunk 2077, we're gonna let you know that there are light story spoilers ahead. If you haven't come across Johnny Silverhand in the game yet, then come back when you do. We'll be right here waiting for you. Johnny Silverhand's Death Day. Alright, final warning for you folks who haven't played Cyberpunk yet. This is your last chance. Still there? Okay, great. So, in the E3 demo, a radio host casually throws around a line saying that rock star Johnny Silverhand passes away in 2076 due to old age. However, if you've played the game, which we hope you have considering you've gotten this far, you'll know that Johnny actually died in 2023 when he was relatively still young. Now, we're not going to go into more details because that'd be a whole other video, but that's a significant departure from what the 2018 demo said. Somewhere along the line, the story must have completely shifted, as in its current incarnation. Cyberpunk largely revolves around Johnny Silverhand. And don't forget, Keanu Reeves was only announced as Johnny in 2019, a whole year after the original demo. Huh. Strange thing to change, but something we'll understand years from now when books are written about the game. Well, there you have it, folks. 8 insane things that were cut from Cyberpunk 2077. Honestly, as much as we're trying not to dunk on the game, we can't help but feel a bit disappointed. Oh well, better luck next time, CD Projekt Red. Let us know in the comments if we missed anything. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you love the video, hit that notification button. It really helps us out. We'll see you next time on Game Planet.